Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what we're doing today?
Well, we took a bit of a sabbatical.
We took a few days off.
Yeah, because we suck.
No, because you work a lot of hours, and also I was not here for a few of those days.
It's true. Yeah, we had some things come up, and now we're back. But I think we're doing a special today that's not Patreon only. So this is for everybody.
Yep, this is open access.
Yeah, and what are we specialing today?
Well, the entire staff at the Institute of Museum and Library Services, which is the federal agency that funds libraries and museums, has just been all put on administrative leave.
Ah.
That's bad.
That's bad, among other bad things.
Yes, among other bad things.
But specifically, coming up soon, I think you said there was something happening that makes this kind of pertinent time frame wise.
Yeah, National Library Workers Day.
Yeah.
Appreciating your local library and the employees thereof.
Right.
That's coming up on April 8th.
Yeah.
Today's the 1st.
So it was a relevant topic and
it was almost fucking sarcastic.
Right, yeah. Before we get into the episode, I do want to give a shout out to Depends and Cory Booker.
Okay,
because he just got done doing like the longest ever speech, whatever, run on C-SPAN. And it was, from everything I've heard, and I didn't have a chance to watch it in full. I'm sure I'll catch the highlights. But from what I've heard, it was incredible.
Well, at the very least, it was record-breaking.
It was record-breaking.
And, I heard that it was like bar none the tops, and that we really missed out.
Yeah. So I mean, in this time of needing to stand up to this government that's in charge.
Yeah.
I wanted to give kudos to Cory Booker.
Thank you, Cory Booker.
Thank you, Cory Booker, for standing up for us.
Yes, you're welcome here anytime. I mean, I already kind of liked you from way back when, like before you ran for president.
Yeah,
I was a fan.
Liked you before you were cool.
It's true. No, it's totally fucking true. Like, you said some shit, and you're from the street, and like the things, and you understand the people, and I admire him very greatly. Yeah. And I just think he's a awesome human being.
Well, he won some points for a lot of people today.
Yes, and I'm glad that everybody else knows the Cory Booker that I already knew.
Yeah. That being said, are you ready to talk about library shit?
Always, but particularly today, yes.
Okay. Well, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, so let's talk about libraries.
Let's talk about libraries.
Baby, let's talk about libraries and me. Let's talk about all the good things and...
let's talk about libraries.
Okay,
huh? Yeah.
So how much do I love libraries?
More than anything in the world, almost.
Pretty much.
Not family excluded and our pets excluded.
Depends on the day.
Which are family.
Depends on the day.
Yeah.
And maybe except sometimes for typewriters and stickers.
Right. Guys, I just have to say this. Like, wife literally collects library cards from every locale that we ever go to.
Yes.
Like, that's the first place we have to seek out.
Whenever
is the fucking library to go get a library card.
Yeah. When we go to a new city, I have to get a library. I'm always sad because there's some places that you have to live in their city. They won't give you one.
Right.
And I'm always like a little bit sad at them.
You've even bargained with them before.
I have.
You're like, can I just get like a used one, an old one or something? Like, do you have any that you were throwing away?
I know. Like, could you just give me an honorary? Like,
right.
I'll never use it. I'm not trying to steal your tax dollars or anything.
I just want a library card.
It's just a token item.
Right.
And they're like, no. And then they look at me like I'm weird. And I'm like, why is it weird to collect library cards? And they're like, did you hear the question you just asked? I'm like, all right. Probably is weird. So, yeah, I love libraries, y'all.
Yes. And bookstores and anything with books in them.
But particularly libraries, because I grew up in libraries.
Yeah.
Like, my earliest memory of being with books is being a little kid in my room lining up. Like, my idea of playing was not playing. I didn't play. I organized things, and I would line up books by size as like a 2 or 3 year old on my shelf.
Yeah.
Like, I was being a librarian.
Right.
And then my next memory just past that is being in a library, and it was high summer. It was so fucking hot outside. And I was inside, and I was looking at all the books in the kids section.
Yeah.
And I had read all of the books on the one shelf.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And I was really upset because I'm also a completionist. And at the time, I was working on Nancy Drew books. And they didn't have like the next one. And the librarian was trying to explain to me, you don't have to read them in order. You can just skip to the next. And I was like, what insanity is this? And I'm like, I don't know, like 6, 7. And I'm just like, what is wrong with you? You can't skip from like number 10 to number 13.
And guys, just so you know, ever since then, wife has been trying to complete her Nancy Drew collection.
Not just my Nancy Drew collection, but like they have to be from a particular year. They can't be the new shiny ones. They have to be like the old yellowy, like raggedy ones.
Yeah, yeah.
And not only just that, like I also particularly like the 80s series, which is the Nancy Drew Files. But my favorites, you guys, my favorites are the 90s series that nobody but me has ever heard about. They're the Nancy Drew on Campus.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Characters have sex.
Whoa.
There is a gay character in that book.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, in that series.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm trying to collect all of those.
Yeah.
And I actually thank you for reminding me of that because I haven't looked for a while. Like every few months, I'm like, I'm going to treat myself to the next $2.50 Nancy Drew on Campus. I do
look, like I stop into, Goodwills and stuff occasionally and I look for them.
Yeah.
If I see one, I'll grab one.
There's a really cool bookstore here called, what's it called? 5th and Charles?
2nd and Charles.
2nd and Charles. I'm so bad with numbers. 2nd and Charles. And they have like this really cool used Nancy Drew section.
Yeah.
And for a while, they had like a ton of them. And I like walked to the cash register with a whole huge armful of them. And they've not had any since. So I suspect that somebody like had dropped those off and that it was a special day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll never see that again.
Right.
So I collect them one at a time, here and there, on the interwebs.
Yep.
So, okay. Enough about Nancy Drew. Yes, I love Nancy Drew. And enough about my personal library experience, except to say that is why this felt very personal, this topic.
Yeah.
Okay. So the big news, as I indicated in the opening, is that the entire staff at the Institute of Museum and Library Services, the IMLS, which is the federal agency that funds libraries and museums, has been put on administrative leave.
I would like to state for the record also, there was also recently a action put into place by Trump that was going to take away what they are calling revisionist history, I think.
Yeah.
But it essentially is taking out all of the...
anything that makes America have hurt feelings over...
Right, yeah.
Over, like, the fact that there was slavery or the fact
that... Or they killed the Native Americans or any of that, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so this goes in line with that.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
let's get rid of all the information and all the negative history about the United States, and let's just make us a nice, wonderful, and I'm going to insert here, white nation.
Yes. A white Christian nation while
Right,
we're at
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And Christian both never did anything wrong and did whatever the fuck they wanted in the name of God.
Yeah.
So, no, they didn't, but yes, they did because they can if they want to. And that is actually, if you look up classic narcissism, like as defined by the DSM-5, that is actually one of the no, I didn't, but yes, I can.
Right.
And yes, I did, but they had it coming. But no, it wasn't me, but it was because you had it coming. Like that is a trait of narcissism.
Sure.
So just let me put that out there.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like it defines the entire.
I don't think
current-
anybody's ever blamed Trump of not being a narcissist. So.
No, but I just want it understood that like narcissism is a phrase that is thrown out very loosely.
Sure.
And it should be understood that this is an actual medical diagnosis.
Right.
And that it actually has traits that we see, you know, in not just Trump, but the Republican Party and Christianity today.
Sure. Yeah.
That these people are really grotesque.
Yeah.
So,
right.
all right. So, the reason that this is a huge deal is because the IMLS is basically the financial backbone of public libraries across the country.
Okay.
So this is not just like this big federal thing over there that we may not see, we just know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is actually going to hurt us on a
Right.
very local level.
Yeah.
Their grants keep libraries open, they fund programs, and they ensure that people in underserved areas read economically oppressed
Yeah.
or read poor, that they still have access to books, the internet, and a safe place to learn.
No, one of the greatest things about libraries is that they give opportunities to people that would otherwise not have them.
Exactly.
And if these go away, that is we're growing inequality
Yeah.
with doing away with things like this.
Oh, I'm going to get into that a little bit here. So never you fear. Yeah, we will touch on all of the things that you have brought up.
Sure.
So also mentioned in the intro was that National Library Workers Day is coming up on April 8th.
Yeah.
So this was definitely done with malice and with intent and with purpose.
Yeah.
And National Library Workers Day is an opportunity to thank the very low paid workers at libraries who are there to serve the public. And they are some of your frontline defenders of the First Amendment.
Yeah.
They are amazing. If you ever get a chance to thank a library worker, particularly now, take that opportunity. I can tell you this. When I first moved to Ohio, I used the library greatly. I did not have access to the internet at my house. And I went there daily to use their computers and to use their internet and just to find work.
Yeah.
I used the internet to find work and to help me.
Well, and when you and I first got together, I had never met somebody that was such a super user of the library as you.
Yeah.
You knew way more than I ever. Like I loved the library for the information,
Sure.
for the ability to access things that otherwise I might not have access to.
You love the library for the general purpose that people should love the library.
Right. But you knew like every nook and cranny of the library and how to best utilize it all. And I was like, damn.
Which branch is better? Which has the better hours? Which has the best parking? Like, that's so like trite, but true. But also who to ask for what information, what kind of information you can ask for.
Well, and there's even the library system. There's library systems in our area, and I'm sure in many other areas too, that if you look into the programs that they offer things like access to video cameras and microphones and 3D printers. I mean, there's all kinds of programs out there.
I'm going to
that are
get
just
into that.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That people will now probably lose access to.
That it's sadly not enough people even knew was there in the first place.
Sure.
Because much like the post office, for example, the library is not a business. It doesn't put out advertising for itself. It's not there to make money, right?
No, but the Republicans always talk about, picking yourself up by your bootstraps, right?
Yeah.
Well, part of that is having the ability to do that. And by taking away libraries, you're taking away people's ability to do that on their own.
Yeah.
You're taking away access to things that they could utilize to help themselves further their careers, their knowledge, everything.
Yes.
You've taken away that tool from people, and you've destroyed that ability to move yourself up in life on your own.
Yes.
And that's just, it's not right.
It's not
this is
right.
not correct.
It's very harmful to every community. It's harmful to the country.
Yeah.
It's harmful to individuals. It's just the absolute fucking worst.
It is.
So this, again, was supposed to be a time to recognize the essential work that library staff do. Oh, I know what I was going to say. When I first moved to Ohio and I didn't have access to the internet, et cetera, and I was becoming that awesome library user.
Yeah.
My child at the time was in first and second grade, and he spent a lot of time at the library with me. This was my youngin'.
Yeah.
Now my oldest child, who is now 31, but at the time was the youngin', because I'm old and I've been here forever. And I had him write a letter to the library staff, and it was just thanking them, and it was just supposed to be like our local library, because we were there like every day for several hours, and we thought it was a fun project, and it was just to help him learn letter writing skills and handwriting and that stuff. And he enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Got nothing of it once we gave it to the staff. The manager of that library was so touched, got teary-eyed, shared it with the entire library system. Now, the Dayton library system has 10 to 20 branches at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's at least 10, probably.
It's more than 10. It's at least 15, I would probably say at this point. I don't know, because they just they closed one down by us here where we live, but that's because they opened a better branch nearby, and there's a couple other ones that are new. So I'm going to say there's probably 15 branches just in this system alone. And there's more than just the Dayton Metro Library system in this area.
Yeah.
So
no, there's actually another a 2-branch system that's actually really incredible here.
It's on the richer side of the Dayton, and then there's also on the other side in the quote unquote the more country area, I will say, they're on their own separate system.
Yes.
And they used to be part of Dayton, but they were a little too snooty, I guess, and wanted to go their own way. So I won't name them, but the reason I'm shitty at them is because one time I had brought a jar full of pennies to pay for a printout because it's 10 cents a page or something. And I was like, this is a great place to spend my pennies.
Right.
And they got so shitty about fucking pennies. And I was like, you're a library. Aren't you just glad that you get money at all? What the fuck? I think it was that person, not the library. But at any rate, whatever. That isn't part of this story probably, but that happened to me and I hated it. So at any rate, that letter that my child wrote was so appreciated by the entire staff system that it went up on their meeting wall place where they do their big library stuff. I don't know the words. But.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway,
bulletin board type thing.
Yes, but not just in that branch is what I'm saying. So when you go out of your way to thank a library person, it means a lot. So take the opportunity, if you are given one, to let them know that you appreciate their services.
For sure.
Okay. Anyway, so this is supposed to be a time to recognize the essential work that library staff do, yet now we're looking at a potential funding cut that could make their jobs even harder or eliminate them altogether.
Yes.
Why does this matter? Libraries, as you stated, are more than just places to check out books. They are community hubs. They provide internet access for people who don't have it at home, like I did. They offer literacy programs. They do job search assistance, and they even have controversial books that some groups would rather see banned.
No, and I love a lot of them do a banned book week type thing where they actually prominently display the banned books or the,
Yes.
the books that are controversial and stuff.
Those are my favorite, but honestly, okay, I'm going to out myself here. I asked a very stupid and shameful question one time. Yeah, I'm going to totally out myself. And I got shellacked a little bit, as well I should. Okay.
Okay.
Somebody next to me at the library was asking the librarian for help finding the 50 Shades of Grey, because that was what was the best-selling series at the time.
Sure.
And the librarian found it, took them to it, pulled it, and gave it to them, and they went on their way and came back to what they were doing. And I was like, ugh, don't you hate that? Because I'm thinking like, ugh, 50 Shades of Grey, gross, right? And the librarian, rightfully so, like totally put me in my place and was like, I am always glad to help any patron find whatever book they are looking for, regardless of what kind of book it is. My job is to help patrons find the information that they need.
Yeah.
And I didn't get defensive. I did not feel like wronged or like, how dare you argue with me? I just was like, no, you're 100% right. I'm so sorry. And thank you for putting me in my place. You're right. And it was just a reminder that it's when I say books that we don't necessarily think of as appropriate or like that are controversial or like banned books week, right?
Yeah.
That includes shit that we don't necessarily personally want to read.
Right.
And it was just a reminder that
that's part of the beauty of a library.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I was never so glad to be spanked. You know what I mean? Like seriously, like it was a good reminder that the library is for everybody, not just me.
It's funny you mentioned that with 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, well, anyways, I was going to keep right on going. So yeah, they provide even controversial group books that groups would rather see banned.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. They're one of the last public spaces where you can exist without being expected to spend money.
True.
Because there are a lot of places that if you want to go sit, they're like, no, you cannot squat at this McDonald's or this Starbucks. Yeah, you got to buy something. No, you can't just sit at the movie theater lobby pretending that you're waiting for a movie. You got to go.
Right.
You know, no squatting.
No loitering.
No loitering. Yeah, they don't call it loitering. Or they don't call it squatting. They call it loitering.
Right.
I call it squatting because that's what I'm doing. when I'm, I haven't done that for a long time, but when I'm like sitting somewhere just like trying to waste some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't do that just anywhere.
No, and it's nice to have a place that people can feel comfortable to go and just relax.
And not be
it's
judged.
And there's no pressure about why you're there other than it's just the library. You can do whatever, you can relax, you can read, you can whatever you want to do.
And it's air conditioned or
as long
heated.
As it's legal,
Yeah. Yeah. So if the IMLS funding dries up, we're going to see some real trickle-down consequences.
Yes.
Smaller library branches, especially in lower income or rural areas, are going to shut down entirely.
Yep.
And library hours are going to be cut, meaning fewer evenings or weekends, so we can say goodbye to the few branches that are open on Sunday.
Right.
Now, I know some people be like, wait, there's branches that are open on Sunday? Yeah, in larger cities, absolutely, there are branches open on Sundays. I know that might come as a shock to many of you, but the Cincinnati downtown branch and the Dayton downtown branch both have open Sunday hours.
Right.
So that was very cool for me to learn because most libraries aren't open on Sunday.
Yeah.
And most libraries probably will no longer be open on Sunday.
Right.
When these trickle-down cuts take place.
Yep.
Public access to materials and programs are going to shrink, and this will include digital resources that we'll get into, many of which people rely on for research, entertainment, or even just staying informed. So that sucks. Mm-hmm. This is going to hit harder than just losing a place to borrow books, because if libraries struggle, freedom of speech struggles. And now I want to get into specifically freedom of speech.
Sure.
Okay. One of the biggest threats in all of this is the way it limits access to diverse viewpoints. Public libraries don't just stock bestsellers. They provide books and resources that might be controversial, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
Might be critical of mainstream narratives,
Yep.
which, you know, we're seeing a lot of right now.
Sure.
Or they might challenge people to think differently. Imagine.
Well, and you have to think about this from the perspective of somebody that is in a community where they are ostracized for how they feel about themselves, maybe.
Yes.
Right. And you know, these people might not have anywhere to turn but a public library.
Right.
Right. And so you're literally cutting off a lifeline from people.
Yeah.
Especially in smaller areas, you know.
Like the area that we just moved through, the branch where the lady wouldn't take my pennies.
Sure. Yeah.
That is a more like countrified area. And if you are liberal out that a ways, you are probably going to stick out like a sore motherfucking thumb if you put up like a pride flag or something like that in your front
absolutely.
yard.
Yeah.
So you're not going to do that. But you might go to the library and you might get some books, some information on how to better find representation or
just read about characters that are similar to you.
Yeah.
That have the same, you know, that think the way that you think,
Yeah.
right? Like things that confirm that you're okay, that you're not different, that you're normal, right? And you're not different because where you live, you feel different.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make you different. It just makes you, it makes you part of a community that doesn't accept.
Yeah. It makes you part of a small community.
Right,
That's it.
right,
That's
right.
it. Small in more than one way. Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, so I mean, I was talking more nonfiction and you're talking more fiction, but that's
Sure.
the beauty of it is that you're going to find material that can help you in so many different ways.
Right.
So this particularly will affect atheist and secular voices because, let's be honest,
We're a minority in most communities.
yes, secular perspectives are already underrepresented in a lot of public spaces. Not just underrepresented, but placed that way on purpose and then, you know,
Sometimes
further
banned
forced
from
out.
public office, and you know, like
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of things that are not favorable to atheists and secular people.
Or just even not Christian,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Yeah. So if libraries start losing funding, we're going to see fewer books on secularism, humanism, and skepticism in circulation because they won't have the funds to buy those books.
Right.
There will be fewer events and programs that promote intellectual freedom and scientific literacy. And there will be more pressure to cater to quote unquote vocal groups pushing for religious based censorship of material.
Well, and that's a shame because, you know, I mean, really the point of, and we just got done talking about how this helps people find a community somewhere that they can feel at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you are in these communities and you are, you know, feeling like your religious group is not representing what you want, how you feel as a person,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have nowhere to turn. You've
Right.
got a bunch of people that all supposedly feel this same way and are putting pressure on you to be that way.
Right.
And you've got nowhere to turn to have to find different ideas. So
Well, and what's really nice right now, prior to this, is that where they say fewer books on, in particular, secularism, humanism, and skepticism, right?
sure.
How many times have I put in a request for a book to be purchased by one of my local libraries?
Oh, you were basically a buyer for the libraries.
Yeah.
I mean, you put in like you don't do it as much as you used to, but you used to do it almost weekly.
No, you're not aware of it because it's more online now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's through the Libby app, which I was going to promote later on, but I'll go ahead and put in a plug for
So
it
you
now.
still do put in requests.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
The difference is that the Libby app has access to more information, so I don't have to put in the request for it as often.
Yeah.
But I still do put in a heavy amount of purchases.
Right.
And the more people that ask for a certain book, the more likely it is that the library will try to get access to it.
Yeah.
Now, I do also listen to a lot more audiobooks than I do read ebooks or physical books.
Sure.
So my requests have changed in what I'm requesting, the kind of
you
material.
used to be strictly books, and now you've gone to a lot more audio.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I still do plenty of asking.
Yes.
And how many times does the library actually purchase
Very
what
often.
I've asked for? Yes.
Very often.
And that is still the case.
And they're very thankful to you about it usually.
Yeah.
So
now it's a lot more automated, so
Sure.
there isn't like a.
But you used to get responses and thank yous and everything. So it was kind of cool.
It was. Yeah. I would send them to you and you would read them from work and be like, holy wow. Like, my wife is such a weird doofus dork.
Right.
And I would be like, I know, but this is so cool to me. And like, it is cool to think that, yes, I want, selfishly, personally, I want access to this, right? Yeah. But when I am asking for something and the library is supplying it, they're not just getting it for me. They're getting it for their community. That means I'm not the only person that was asking for it.
Right.
And that means that there's other people out there like me that wanted this. And the library had the funding and the interest to supply it to us.
You almost looked at it as like a public service. You were trying to help them with.
It was a public service.
I want to make sure that they're aware of this great book.
Yes.
And that they will have it for other people to, read.
And that's the way they view it.
Yeah.
That's the way I try to view it. And that's the way they also view it.
Sure.
Now, I'm getting something out of it personally, obviously.
Right.
But it doesn't go sit on my shelf. I don't keep it.
Right.
And, this is off topic, but I'll never forget this friend of a friend that told me that she had no room in her life for libraries because she did not understand the purpose of going somewhere and borrowing material that you could not keep and had to give back. And I was like, that is the most motherfucking economically ableist bullshittery I have ever heard.
Right.
Like, oh, it sucks to have to give it back. I hate borrowing. Yeah, so do we all, bitch. But we don't all have the money to put up our own fucking library in our goddamn living room. So some of us have to go to the library and borrow it. And you know what? It's kind of cool because you get to see what other people are interested in your community.
Well, and we kind of operate similarly in our house in that if somebody wants to borrow a book or shows interest in a book, we offer it to them immediately.
We're so excited. We're like, take as long as you need.
Yeah. Well, there's no expectation for it to come back.
And it seldom does, honestly.
They seldom do. And, the only ones that are off limits would be like your Nancy Drews or something.
And that's because I'm covetous and I'm collecting those. That is a collection. Sure. That is not a thing. There's like people in their comic books, And I'm one of those too. But yeah, we love sharing our books with people.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, if somebody came in and like their eyes started filling with stars and they needed to borrow my Nancy Drews.
But you'd put an extra emphasis on bring it back.
I don't know that I would, honestly. I really don't know that I would. Like, I started to be like, well, yeah, but then I started thinking about like, no, I don't think I would. Like, seeing somebody else excited about something that I'm excited about, like, that really fills me, Yeah. That like makes me glow on the inside.
Right.
So, no, I think I'd be okay with that. But that's one of the things that I wanted to say is the fewer books. The other thing is that there's this thing called the Great Dayton Read or something like that, and there's a national program as well where the entire community in the Dayton Read or the Big Read, I forget what it's called.
Sure.
But in the Dayton community is where once a year they pick one book for everybody in the Dayton area to all read at the same time. And many communities do this, so not just Dayton.
Right.
And then, like I said, there's a national one as well happening right now, and I can't remember what the book is. I probably should have looked that up. But the program itself is just so cool because during this event that takes place once a year, this particular book is made available so that there's like no wait time on the borrow. There's no, particularly if you're borrowing it online, like if you're getting an ebook or an audiobook, there's no wait. The book is immediately available and they just want everybody to be reading this one book at the same time. And then there are meetup groups where you can go throughout your community to various branches to have discussions about this one book.
Yeah.
That is something that is so fucking cool. I did it one year. The book was Nickel and Dimed.
Yeah.
Such a good book. I think Barbara Ehrenreich.
Yeah.
Barbara Ehrenreich.
Yeah.
Such a good book.
Yep.
such a great discussion.
Yeah.
It was really cool that I was sitting at a table with people from all different age ranges and economic backgrounds and cultures talking about the same book.
Yeah.
Like, that really left a mark on me. It's important that we're able to do these things.
Yeah.
And
no, absolutely.
we're not going to be able to because the funds won't be there to have the book available to everybody, much less to support such a large program.
Right.
So, okay. Sorry. That's a little bit off topic. You guys, I might be a little bit passionate about libraries. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've already seen a massive increase in book bans and challenges in the U.S., which I've covered that topic before too.
Yep. We have definitely talked about that.
Love talking about the book bans. Hate the book bans. Love talking about them because it's important to bring light to
Yes.
things that are happening.
Correct.
With religious groups leading the charge to remove works that they find objectionable. So if libraries lose funding, they'll be less equipped to fight back against these challenges and bans.
Yeah.
Which is what I just said. And like, that's a no duh. But
right. It's a downward spiral. I mean, it's
yeah.
not, this all is not good.
None of this is like shocking, but it bears repeating that this is important, y'all.
Yeah.
This is important. Okay. The bigger picture. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. This move obviously isn't happening in a vacuum. We're seeing an ongoing trend of defending public institutions that support knowledge, critical thinking,
Yep.
which you and I have talked a lot about,
Yep.
and accessibility. So cutting funding for library and museums isn't just about budgets. Like, it's not just about that. It's also about who gets to control information.
Oh, absolutely.
That is the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
Okay. So everything.
That's what all this is about.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything that we've just been talking about, like, this hurts me on a personal level, right?
Yeah.
And not having access to books, not having access to programs. That's all tragic.
Sure.
In and of itself. And it's the sad decline of a country, right? Like, all of that. But this is more than just all of those things that we've talked about up till now. It's about who controls the information.
Yeah.
And that's the bigger picture here.
It is. It is.
When public funding disappears, what fills the gap, babe? Want to tell us what fills the gap?
When public funding disappears?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, private, hopefully, but not always.
And private is not always good, is it?
It's not always good. Because
right.
You do have to follow, like, if you're more at the behest of what they want, as opposed to just public funds allow you to operate, independently. And you don't have to worry about whether this person is going to donate next time or not. Like, if you are relying on private funds, then you have to cater to the people that are giving you more money.
And who is that going to be? Religious, bad, wrong groups. That's who.
Could be, not always, but could be, yes.
Private donors, corporate sponsorships, and in some cases, religious organizations helping in to quote unquote help with literacy programs on their own terms, like you said.
Right.
That's how you end up with heavily biased materials replacing well-rounded, evidence-based sources.
Yeah.
For atheists, skeptics, and anyone who values free access to knowledge, this should be a very major concern. Like, your alarm bells should be going off if they weren't already.
Yeah.
You should be very freaked out over this if you weren't already.
Among many other things that we should be freaked out about right now. But yes.
That's why I said if you weren't already.
I think it's more of the confluence of, like, all the events that are happening that is causing a lot of the alarm right now.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if your alarm bells weren't already going off over everything else, and you're hearing my voice right now, this should be making your fucking alarm bells go off.
Right.
Okay? If you weren't already freaked out, hear my voice, hear my words. You need to be freaked out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
Yep.
Because this isn't just about losing a local library branch. It's about what happens when the flow of information is controlled by those with the most money and influence.
Yeah.
Period. The end. The bottom line, libraries are essential for a free society. If we let them wither away, we're handing over control of knowledge to people who don't want free thinkers, atheists included, to have a voice.
No, I agree.
So this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Why libraries matter for atheists and the secular community in fucking particular.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Atheists rely on libraries as secular spaces that provide access to unbiased information, scientific literacy, and historical records. That's
Yes.
interesting. I had not thought of that, but it's so fucking true, right?
Yeah.
These institutions are one of the few non-religious public access sources of learning that aren't pushing a faith-based agenda.
Well, and oftentimes they are safeguards for local histories that are
Yes.
not available really anywhere else.
Right.
You know, they safeguard stuff that is really old for local communities that you otherwise wouldn't find anywhere.
Yeah.
So-
The little community that you're from has a historical
They
society
do.
that is 100% attached to the library.
Yeah, there's an entire back room full of like our community's history in the
Yes.
back of that library.
And-
And if that library shuts down, I don't even know where the fuck that would go.
I don't either, and I don't
So-
think they do too. So
Right. Yeah. No,
this
it's
is-
not. It's not something that anybody like. It would end up in somebody's garage or something. You
Yeah.
know? Like that's what would happen to our history for that town.
And this town might not be important to anybody else but the people who are there. But this is you. This is where you grew up. This is where your mom and dad come from. This is where their parents came from.
Right. But it's still, even with small sections of libraries disappearing like that, right? It's still erasing portions of our history.
Yes.
It's erasing who we are as
a people.
right.
As a people. One teeny tiny little library at a time.
Yeah.
Just like erased.
Yeah.
And that just makes me want to cry, honestly. I know I'm being so overly dramatic. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm very, very impassioned over libraries and what they mean to people and communities and America,
Yeah.
you know, democracy. Like, these are not just words to me when I think of them as they relate to libraries. It's just so important to me.
Yeah.
All right, get your shit together, wife. Okay. One. Okay, I'm going to name off some points here.
Okay.
Number one, libraries are a stronghold for science and critical thinking.
Yes.
Okay. Science books and journals. Libraries provide access to scientific research, ensuring that people can read about evolution, climate science, neuroscience, and more. Topics often attacked by religious fundamentalists.
Right.
Part of that is going to be like health, mental health, your queer community,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
You know, secular history and philosophy. Atheists benefit from access to books on skepticism, humanism, and comparative religion, which is, you know, something we might be a little interested in,
Yeah. Sure.
that might otherwise be unavailable in religiously dominated communities.
Right.
Fact-checking and misinformation prevention. Libraries serve as fact-based institutions, which is crucial as as religious groups increasingly push anti-science rhetoric, from creationism to vaccine misinformation.
Yeah.
Like, I so appreciated that was included in this.
Well, yeah, and that, I mean, with our government pushing misinformation, it's no wonder they want to do away with institutions that have the ability to fact check them anytime, right? They don't want an informed public. They want a public that is just listening to whatever they tell them.
Yes, indeed. Banned book access, which we covered a little bit. Many schools and conservative communities ban books on LGBTQIA plus rights, race, and secularism. Libraries push back by keeping these books available for everyone.
Yes.
Okay, so that was all science and critical thinking. Number two is free speech and the fight against censorship.
Yeah.
Okay. Atheist books and media. Many atheist authors like Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, and Ayaan Hirsi Ali have faced book bans or challenges, and libraries protect the right to read and access atheist literature. So in addition to that, we also have legal protections against religious censorship,
Yeah.
which I found super interesting. Like, it wouldn't have occurred to me legal protections can be found at your library.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool to think, though, right?
Right. I mean, we take it for granted now that we can look pretty much anything up online, but
Right.
not everybody even has access to online.
Exactly.
Even today. And I know that sounds odd to say,
No, but it's so
there
true.
are very, there's poor communities that don't have the same privilege that a lot of people that, are step up from them do. And these are very important things to have available to anybody that needs them.
We live in an area whose high school is struggling to make sure that their kids all have access to the internet.
Yeah.
And a friend that I went to high school with that I no longer really talk to very much.
Yeah.
She is like the PTO mom or whatever for a really huge district that is really just too big for itself.
Yes.
What you know the one I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah. Her part of the district is extremely rich.
Yeah.
And the other part is not. And
Yes.
a lot of people in the poorer district are wanting to combine the PTOs so that all the kids can have access to the same materials, such as the laptops that the richer kids in the richer school district are getting.
Yeah.
And this person who is not really my friend anymore,
Right.
my choice, not theirs,
Yeah.
was against that idea of combining PTOs because, as she said, but we put in the work for these kids to get these. And I was like, you cunt. Do you think that the other parents in the poor district, their kids don't deserve the same that your little rich kids do?
Right. No, I mean, that whole fight that was happening down in that school district near us here was kind of the embodiment of what goes wrong in poor school districts versus rich school districts.
And it was one school district.
And it furthers the whole idea that everybody gets the same start in life is false. It's absolutely false.
Bullshit.
I mean, we have schools around here that are essentially they're public schools, but they're basically private schools.
Yeah.
Because they're so funded by taxes that it's insane.
They're not just funded by taxes, they're funded by the PTO moms who I won't even go into all that, but these PTO moms have enough money that they're able to do the extra funding so that their special little fucking rich angels get all the good shit.
Right.
You know, how lucky for you. How fucking lucky for those little shits.
I mean, we could take this whole conversation down the whole voucher, way. And there's all kinds of things that go hand in hand with this whole idea of low information available to the poor communities, right?
And you know what? The low information is also unavailable to the fucking rich community, because maybe if they had a better education and understood what the fuck they were doing, they might understand that, hey, maybe some empathy would be good for these poorer kids, right?
Right.
Like, why are you not wanting to help these kids?
Right.
Why do you think that your kid deserves a laptop more than somebody in a poor area? Why do you think, I don't know, maybe it's because all y'all white and the people in the poor area are all brown.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that, prove me wrong. I don't know, I could be wrong.
That has nothing to do, I mean, they would never admit that. Right?
No, but it's true though.
That's generally how it ends up working out.
In this particular school district, the ones in the rich side are generally white and the ones in the poor side are generally not.
And it's really easy to say to somebody, you should pull yourself up by your bootstrap, right?
I'm sorry,
when you have a privileged start to life and you have a privileged way of going through school and a privileged way of dealing with the world, and you specifically, not you, but this group of people specifically take advantage of that situation and further that problem by making it harder for poorer communities to get help when it's something that comes to them, like your friend, right?
Yeah.
They had the ability to help a poorer community
and didn't want to. Yeah. And then had the gall to wonder why I didn't want to like go hang out with them anymore.
Right.
And I guess shame on me because I didn't specifically tell her. I just fucking ghosted her. But I wasn't, like, this was several years ago and I wasn't at a place where I could have been, because you're a cunt.
Right.
Because you're a selfish, uppity bitch.
Yeah.
Because you're not helping. Because you can help, and you are on purpose. You are in an authoritarian position, a position of power where you could be doing a helpful thing.
Yeah.
And you have on purpose decided not to, and decided not only not to, but to make it harder for people who want otherwise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. I'll stop. Sorry. All right. So anyway, with regard to the fight against censorship, legal protections against religious censorship is a thing that might be going bye-bye. Public libraries operate under the First Amendment, meaning they can't remove materials just because religious groups object.
Sure.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But if libraries lose funding, their ability to fight back against religious censorship shrinks.
Yeah, definitely.
Duh. Right? Religious encroachment on public spaces. For example, I don't know, with your trans people reading kids to kids, those are so cool. Like, I love the I said trans people, and that I think I misspoke. What I meant was the people. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The drag queens?
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. The drag queens that are reading to kids in public spaces such as libraries.
Sure.
Yeah, I apologize. My brain is not all here. I knew what I meant, but I was not saying things correctly, so I apologize. Anyway, that would be something that's already being challenged. Yeah. And we're going to see less and less of that. More and more challenges, less and less of the program itself.
Right.
As funds disappear.
Yes.
If libraries close, communities lose one of the only truly secular, non-religious gathering spaces, and this leaves room for religious organizations to step in and dominate public discourse. Yay! Love us a good church with 15 fucking, or love us a good town with 15 fucking churches and not one secular place, and them still crying that we're taking away all their rights.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it could come down to the churches just open up their own fucking library.
Yeah.
And because there's no funding for the public libraries, the church becomes the place where everybody goes to get information.
Yeah.
Which the information will be guarded and, curated by a religious community at that point. So.
And not only that, but you'll probably have to buy in. You'll have to buy a membership to a fucking piece of shit lie.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yep.
Number 3, public internet access and digital freedom. Online access to atheist resources. Many people discover secularism through online communities, but not everyone, as you've said, has home internet. Libraries provide free access to sites like the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Shout out.
Yeah.
Love them. American Atheists and places like on Reddit. There's an atheism community on Reddit. Like, I don't know.
Or just a personal shout out, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com.
Well, yeah, obviously. Obviously. Then there's protection against religious internet filters. Public libraries are less likely than schools or religious institutions to block access to atheist websites, sex education, or queer community content.
Sure.
Which, that didn't even, occur to me, the filters.
Yeah.
Because you can pretty much look up just about anything online at the library within boundaries, and even those, if you can explain yourself to a librarian as to why you might be accessing it, you can probably get their assistance.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Not going to go any further than that. Y'all know what I'm saying. Okay. Privacy and anonymity. Some atheists and religious households cannot safely research atheism at home. And we're talking about wives. We're talking about kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, we've actually had people that have given us money that don't feel safe talking about things at their house.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not just nobody. There's a community out there, people that are not able to talk about their feelings with regard to secularism in their homes. Yeah. And that's a thing.
That is a thing that I did not even consider or ever think about until we started this project.
Yeah.
And hearing from people that they listen to us secretly from their spouse or from their parents or from their family.
Yeah.
And that shook me.
Yeah, no, it's interesting being on this end and hearing
sneaking into
how
their home.
People utilize us and other entities.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Very interesting, humbling, frightening, all those words. Privacy and anonymity. Some atheists and religious households. Oh, I just said that. So library computers provide a private, judgment-free space to explore secular ideas.
Sure.
Which, yeah, they do.
Yep.
Libraries, number 4, also provide secular alternatives to religious community support.
Yeah.
So, we've talked before about how you should be able to, we sometimes wish we belonged to a church just for the community aspect of it, or being able to, get help from other people.
We've talked about that before, yeah.
Not that we want to belong to the religious aspect of it.
No.
Just there is a
there's a social step up by being part of a group like that you don't get by going it alone. right?
Well,
And
yeah, it's not just that you have this group, it's a structured, scheduled meetup.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that whole thing is missing in the secular community.
it is for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, there are meetup groups and there are things that people can be a part of, but they're not as easily accessible as a church is.
Right.
A church, obviously, is a place you can go to any Sunday, and you can find a group of people there that will, as long as you worship their God, welcome you in and treat you like family for the most part.
I was going to say, and
treating you like family can mean treating you like shit too. So
Right.
just for the record, you know.
yeah, they'll abuse you just as easily as they would anybody else in their
Right.
household. And a lot of times you don't even have to so-called worship so much as pay lip service.
No, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of churches. There's a lot of church communities that they call them Sunday worshipers, right? Like
Yeah.
you
show up on Sunday.
You show up on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
But libraries provide alternatives to that. They have support groups and social events, humanist meetups, philosophy clubs, book groups, which I've gone to book club meetings before. And these are all secular alternatives to church groups.
even training for work skills,
Yeah.
like that's something that you can get at libraries as well.
You know what I was just thinking too? We didn't even talk about this. We literally met our landlord at a local library
Yeah.
to have a sit down and negotiate
so just like
the terms.
a meeting space.
Yeah, to negotiate the terms of our contract.
Right.
And then we were able to have her scan in the information and we were able to sign the lease right then and there.
Right. Because it's a place you can go to have, I mean, you can literally get in most libraries, you can request to have access to a private room.
Yeah.
Or at least a private corner or something.
Yeah.
You know, like there's always something you can do in a library
Yeah.
to have, there's so many ways to utilize those spaces.
Yes.
You know, and it's not just it's not just books.
Right.
You know, like it's definitely not just books.
Right. I mean, a lot of them even have like notary publics and, you can get all that information there too.
Yeah,
So very
right.
cool. Some libraries run food pantries, charity and mutual aid, free legal clinics, and job training programs that help without any religious strings attached.
Yeah.
And, that's unlike most faith-based charities where,
Sure.
You gotta...
I mean, I will say this. A lot of faith-based charities, a lot of them, not all of them, do a lot of their programs without explicit strings attached, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you still have to go to their place. You still have to go to their church where there's documentation of their ideas of what God is laying out.
Right.
So it's still not without some type of, propaganda laying around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it's true. Finally, a lot of after-school and teen programs occur in libraries.
Yeah.
They do kids from atheist meetups in STEM programs and educational clubs rather than religious youth groups,
Yeah.
which is so cool.
Yeah.
And losing these programs is going to push more families toward church-led stuff.
Well, yeah. And there's a
sucks.
huge push of programs led by churches and schools right now, especially in this area. There's a LifeWise, I think is the name of the group that I actually wrote a blog post about it on our website, but it's they're making pushes into our school districts, and they have it set up to where they're allowed to take kids out if their parents give them permission for like an hour and a half a day to go to a church sanctioned event instead of going to school.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. And they said they were sending kids back with like candy to give out to make other kids jealous and stuff like that. Be like, hey, if you go here, look, they gave us candy and stuff. Like it's very nefarious.
Gross.
What's happening. They're taking advantage of every loophole to push religion into public spheres.
Yeah.
So
hated it.
Yep.
All right. Number 5. Atheists and libraries both face attacks from the same groups. Go figure.
Yeah.
Many of the same religious fundamentalists who try to shut down atheist organizations are also trying to defund libraries. Why? Because both institutions promote the following. Secular education over religious indoctrination.
Yep.
Access to banned books and progressive ideas.
Yep.
Free speech protections, even for unpopular opinions.
Yeah.
Public knowledge and critical thinking, which, threaten dogma.
I used to think these were just, staples of being a United States citizen.
Right?
But it's becoming less so.
Well, it is less so. Period. The end.
Yeah.
Groups like Moms for Liberty, multiple moms.
Yes.
One liberty.
Correct.
And they don't have it, but they claim to.
Right.
And evangelical lawmakers have actively tried to defund public libraries while also pushing laws that limit atheist and secular rights.
Yep.
They know that by gutting libraries, they limit public access to knowledge and increase religious influence in everyday life.
Oh, yeah.
I hate them, just to be clear.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, like a lot of the pushback that governments are going to get would be from downtrodden communities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you take away their access to understand that they're being shit on,
yeah,
then there's not as much pushback.
Right.
So like this is all it's very pointed as to what they're doing.
For sure. Yeah. If we lose libraries, we don't just lose books. We lose one of the last secular public spaces, one of the strongest defenses against religious censorship, and one of the only remaining publicly funded sources of free knowledge.
Yeah.
Which, again, is why I'm so passionate about libraries.
Yeah. No, they're worth being passionate about.
Yep. This is why library funding should be a major issue for atheists, humanists, and secular activists. If we don't fight to protect them, we risk losing access to secular and science-based books, free speech protections in public institutions, atheist-friendly gathering spaces, internet access for those trapped in religious environments, and public programs that don't push religion.
Yeah.
If religious groups succeed in defunding libraries, they fill the vacuum with faith-based education, religious charities, and church-run outreach programs, forcing more people into religious dependency just to access basic services.
Yeah.
The fight to save libraries is a fight for secularism. You
absolutely.
guys.
Yeah.
It 100% is.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we don't stand up now, we risk letting religious institutions tighten their grip on public life. All right, I'm going to end this with a call to action, what we can do.
Okay. Yeah.
We need to support library funding bills. So call your representatives and tell them to fucking fund libraries, not defund them.
Say it in those exact words.
I mean, whatever you feel is appropriate for your area.
I feel like that's appropriate.
I do too. It's probably how I would say it.
Yeah.
I'm not here to tell you how you need to phrase it, though.
Right.
Okay. Another thing you can do is to join your local library board. Evangelicals have been stacking the fucking library boards to push censorship. School boards as well,
Yep.
Yep. We're not talking about school boards today. We're talking about library boards.
Right.
Go get on one.
Yeah.
We need more secular voices in these spaces.
Yep.
So this little jaunt got me interested in checking that out.
Yeah.
So I will be looking into that, FYI, darling.
No, that's good. That's good.
Donate if you can. I know we're all pressed, so, no harm, no foul if it's not something that you're able to do. But if you can, donate to library advocacy groups. Support organizations fighting for libraries like the American Library Association, the ALA, and Every Library.
Okay. All right.
Every library is not like, all the libraries. There's actually an organization called Every Library, one word. Okay. And just an FYI, like the ALA, the American Library Association, like librarians have to be certified through the ALA to be qualified to be called a librarian.
Right.
And not every community has a college even that has access to an ALA approved program, which means that not every library is even staffed with an official librarian.
Right.
They are staffed with library staff.
Yeah.
But that's not the same
as a
librarian because they do not have the training in information sciences, which doesn't sound maybe like it's a big deal or a big difference, but trust me, it is. And I only know this because I wanted to be a librarian.
Yes,
So,
yes, you did.
And
You do.
I do. And there was only one program in our area, and it is no longer available.
Huh.
So even if I was able to go to school right now, I would have to do a lot of legwork and figure out how I could pursue it mostly online and commuting long distances to make this happen.
Sure.
So just keep that in mind. Again, when you're thinking of your local librarian, ask yourself how they even got that position,
Right.
because they may have had to do a lot of motherfucking legwork.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another thing you can do. Show up to public meetings, attend town halls where library funding is discussed, because silence lets religious groups win.
Yeah.
Show up, speak loud.
Yep.
Even if you don't speak because you're like me and you're a fucking introvert, show up, listen, write something.
Yeah. Have a sign.
Have a sign, have a shirt, have something.
Right.
Go to these things.
Yeah.
Spread awareness. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Talk about how library cuts impact atheists, marginalized groups, and public access to knowledge.
Yeah.
This is me doing that on my little platform here, but you can tell your friends, you can talk to your neighbors, you can talk to the people in your life about how much you love libraries and what they've done for you and how this is a bad fucking move.
Yes. Yes.
You know, like it doesn't necessarily have to be a religious or a political conversation. If you, like us, are in a red area, you like husband works with a lot of Republicans.
Oh, I do.
But you could go to work and talk about libraries and not necessarily get into.
Right. It's one of those subjects that you can tiptoe around not being a liberal idea necessarily.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you can say something like, oh my gosh, I was going to the library to get XYZ because we all love free movies, right? Don't we?
Right.
And then I found out that my little local branch is going to be closing and doesn't have movies anymore.
Right. And then tell them something they don't know. Like, hey, did you know you can go there and do like 3D printing? You can go there and do wood carving stuff. You can go there and do multimedia stuff. Like they've got all kinds of programs.
Now, I'm not going to get into all of that. I have literally 5 extra pages of all the shit that you can get through your library that I put aside. I wasn't sure I would have time to get to it.
And you wouldn't.
And I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are entire things that you can get from libraries. Some in more communities than others, right?
Yeah.
Like not all library systems are the same.
Right.
But I'm willing to bet that your library near you has access to more than you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that
almost without fail, that's probably the case.
I can remember when, again, I was early on in Ohio and online books were like just starting, like audiobooks, Audible was just starting to like really become a big thing. And the Centerville Library, shout out to them. Sorry, but they're awesome. They're the 2-branch
Rich
system that we were talking about earlier, Centerville and Woodburn.
Yep.
And they started carrying these things called playaways that you could borrow. And they were basically little like MP3 players that had one book loaded on it.
Yeah.
That, you know, you have earphones or earbuds that you borrow from them along with the playaway, and you can listen to that one book.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was the fucking coolest thing I had never heard of.
Yeah.
And I think that was actually when one of the things that first really got me into audiobooks.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
All right. So just to summarize, before we cut this off, libraries level the playing field, and that's why this fucking matters. They provide access to tools, education, and resources regardless of income. If funding gets cut, all of this shrinks or disappears. And the most vulnerable people, those without home internet, job seekers, students, and marginalized communities will all lose the most.
Yeah.
This isn't just about books. This is about fucking equity, not just equality, equity. Libraries make sure everyone, not just the wealthy, has access to knowledge, creativity, and opportunity. Cutting library funding isn't just an inconvenience, it's a fucking attack. It's a goddamn attack on public access to information and community resources, and it needs to be treated as such. Yeah. Trump says there's a fucking war. He ain't wrong. This is a goddamn war, folks, and it's a war on information. And you need to arm yourself, get to your fucking library, do what you can to help it stay open.
I agree.
The end. This has been Wife screaming and hollering about books.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon to finish up whatever we were in.
Haggai.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Sorry, we've been flaky with that a little bit lately. So.
We'll get back to it.
But we'll be back soon.
Yep.
All right. Thanks. Bye. Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.